Friends, I greet you with you as before Puzana Sergey, which means we're on another fishing trip. Just a merciless crust. Calendar autumn has already arrived, but in the Moscow region it still exists a little bit, somewhere around 21-23 degrees. The whole week was rainless. It's brutally hot, so for now. The roads are dry. Ground. I went to look for some new locations for myself. Some new fish, some new impressions. Having ridden 15 or 10 kilometers through the fields of Logan bushes, found an interesting location for myself. Absolutely new. I've never fished here before. It's true I have it right next door. Judging by the habitability of the places, there are people next door who have been sitting there since the night. There are 6 donks in the tents. I understand so that the feeding part went well for them. There is a current here. It goes from left to right. Such a decent current. That is, I think that most likely there will be some long leashes. Well, it's all fantasy. Let's go sort it out. By the way, I'll show you a very interesting location now. Cute. That's so cool. Hidden place. There are no passages further there. Trampled decently, just like a VIP, or payer, in fact, Moscow River. Judging by the habitability, I think there were some tents here too. So people have to feed here, catch and so on. Here I am already decomposed. Already fed. Well, then everything is actually more detailed, as always useful information about fishing, only interesting on this channel, so be sure not to miss it. Videos that come out quite often you don't see them. Even if you are subscribed, go to the page. Press the bell on my personal, and including Feeder Official TV group, then you definitely won't miss a single video. By the way, visit stories more often. They're practically, there's always some kind of life format going on. Here is the first cast after changing the hook. Morning bite to you in the studio, right guys? But how do you see? This is exactly how a heavy hook works. But the contact for a light hook is normal. Look at the bend, it just straightens out. Yes, they did finish it. That is, the hook is already inside. That is how I rode through the fields today and told. Some goodies and tricks come out before video editing. Here's the fish after the food. As if she showed herself. Literally minutes probably. 10-15. With open cutting. The fish came to the spot. Whale sucker, bloodworms, and so on. I planted one aparic. Got a bite right away. Bream like this, 400 grams, 500 standard, some kind of Moskvaretsky. Then the drop one also with sandwiches, no luck. And for bloodworms, please. Well, it's kind of a moth theme. Starts. Gain momentum, but nevertheless. For the first hour it is. About 10 fish is very good, considering that bites seem to happen on every cast. But the selection of the hook? Good implementation. No, I don't think things can be fixed. So the place turned out to be promising. It's not for nothing that it's so well trodden here. It's still too early to say that I figured it out and understood it. Because there are so many fish and bites, which exist but they are not glued properly. That is, he doesn't like something. Most likely it's a hook and it's probably a bit heavy. Yes, there is a current. But the feeder costs 80. More than sure, and sometimes there are some rare rentals, but after this rental you lift, here you are. After this rental you lift, and there's a fish hanging there. That is, as if the fish hit the mark, that's a fact. And since the Bream is a schooling guy, I don't think he'll go anywhere from there. That's the main thing. Hold correctly. So let's start with the classics as always. Do magic grandma, do magic grandpa. And we'll figure it out anyway. Just anyway. The pressure that I have on the right, if you can call it that. People have been sitting since night. It's clear that they've already fed porridge there. And so on, plus they sit downstream. I'm just thinking about the tempo now. With such quantity, reactions and caught fish, I think we'll get going. And we will definitely put the fish right on a good pace. Fishing in overdrive. Fishing is just awesome. Awesome location. It's just super. Oops, came unstuck. This is the only nuance. It happens to me often. Here is the proof. Everything is sucked. When this bream starts to get into some kind of rhythm, although not the fastest fish, Serioza starts waving just there in the early stages. The starting leash was 20 meters. Worked great. Returned the hook from which I started, because the hook there is changed to a heavier one that they're already picking around in tomorrow. They're picking up one along the bottom. There are no such questions as such. Those that yes, they do so. Well, you can see it clearly. I posted it in stories, which I have already said for sure. Look at stories. I showed it specifically there. I hope these videos haven't been deleted, and I'll insert it in this video for you to watch. And that is, contacts happen directly. It would seem that this bite can be raised. No, I got such bites, nothing happens. Just now back to grand feeder again, standard. Shortened to 80. Now I can see all contacts. That is, it fits right in, dorg, and that's it, and he starts having fun with it. He shakes it, twists it, turns it there, and so on. You can safely lift it without any undercuts. There are swings and so on. You just lift it up and the fish is already hanging there. That is, the implementation has already turned into something like that. Here he is again, immediately after casting. You can see the presentation on this light hook, he likes it. Bam! He likes everything here, in short. Ha 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 ha! Just for now. Brought out a certain feed. Although probably in some cool way, it's just some kind of fundamental to call it. There is no point. The bait started to dry out. I started to moisturize it with the basis of my composition. That is, my base composition is this Bream River that smells really cool of cinnamon. Standard of such an extra mix. Summer on warm water. Well, I think it will definitely be relevant for another month. It depends on how the water cools down in your region. I pour syrup over the bait. Until the desired consistency is reached, I moisturize it. Next we add a small moth. Oops, more precisely the opposite. I add small bloodworms. I mix it very strongly in the bait, so that it would be practically difficult to find it there, so that the fish would properly skid at the point. Then I pour syrup over it all until it reaches the desired consistency, moisturizing, after which almost in pinches through one feeder. I don't give every cutting support. This is a clean cut of a support without any impurities or aromatics, bloodworms and so on. That is, all my bloodworms are small. It is in perfect condition. Goes to mix up. Next, pour in the syrup. The syrup doesn't have any special flavor. Bright, vibrant aroma compared to all concentrate. That is, it is more of a flavor additive than. And aromatic. Yes, it has a smell, but I think he is. At best, it can only strengthen it a little bit. Complementary food that is. I've already tried adding concentrate. Good thing I have it. Also a river bream. Well, I don't really see any big difference, because the bites are stable and even. The fish don't go anywhere. There is no need to culver again. There are some pauses. Pause, that is all the bites are. 2 to 30 minutes. If there is a pause, you sit until the third half. The bream cod is a little bigger. You can see it as if immediately sees this attachment which falls on the hook. He likes the presentation, and he's not that successful like these smaller boys. And he looks at her there for a long time. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh my god. Still bites. As you can see, the spanking continues. I hope she doesn't stop. But nevertheless, even if she stops, you know yourself. That bream just bite like that all day long. Well, that's probably it. More of an exception than the rule we are obliged to. If suddenly it gets chopped, back we will lengthen. Change feed. Look for some goodies, chips that he will like again. And of course, oh, this is a really good player 600. Well, I already have. In the garden. Fish caught in a couple of hours. I don't know how it is in the standard, but for 5. It's just some crazy fishing going on. I think it's just some kind of training in technique, rather than some kind of picking. Constant selections and so on, such fishing happens. Not often, but when you sit down and just do it. From experience, basically what you always do when fishing for bream. That is, you immediately put the hook. Brand feeder you immediately put on a leash of some kind 90. 80, huh? You start with some kind of sharp maggot. No bloodworms. Then the fish comes, and you start to mix in this bloodworm. To make it more interesting for the fish, this feed is somehow filtered there, passed through the gills and so on. Well, then everything is as they say. Yes. In our team, this is everything. Holds on. On your hands, that is, you feel them leaving. Got cut off again he drove, again he dispersed the fish and so on. So we're catching great. And have fun in a new nice location. Friends, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell. The fish are just biting. Even if I miss by a meter downstream. The fish are still biting, the higher she pecks. Well, that is, there is just some hellish amount of it there, already at the point. The fish are biting. The only thing that trusts the attachments as well. It's probably more of something I don't know. Maybe she gets somewhere. On this semi-hard table. Because by example, all straight from the Ruslan part, it's all awesome watering there with depth probably 530. 6 just even watering. We get stuck in the rise. The climb is practically vertical. To the coastline, this is where the bushes end. There are probably 50 centimeters here, and just like this, wall down to 5 meters, and here they are all under this wall, at its very bottom, where they meet with irrigation. I chose this point. The only thing is that I periodically caught something there. Well, the fish are still biting now, generally on reset. That is, he just grabs the hook and is trying to get somewhere there. I don't know whether to swim upstream. For all time. The only pause was, that is, not exactly a pause, but simply by slowing down the pace. Fish is pecked 230. 2 and it bites. It happens more often. There's about a minute and a half. The only knockdown that was great helped. Should we continue to consolidate? Also 600 grams, probably 700. And oh yeah, such 600,700. The only knockdown, that was all. I did it again. Yes, feed 3 feeders with cut dough. Just like that BAMC minute, BAMC minute, BAMC minute. I'm throwing away the 4th one. The fish immediately bends over again. Well, that is a fact that there is simply a huge amount of it there. I'm sitting here catching and not changing anything at all. How did you choose the leash length? Hook, and that's it. All about hooks on Grand Feeder at the time. A lot of people complained along the lines of, he straightens up. And similar things. Most often this is said by those people who catch, perhaps for some kind of montages. It's not that there aren't any sports there. Yes, I can't demand that from you there either. I'm just showing. What kind of editing do I have to do all this? That's why the hook can plow there. There are 20 to 30 fish there, and it still pierces the bloodworm well. As you can see, he is absolutely, everything is fine with him. He's even. Installation standard hinges, eagles Feeder gam 06 knee 08. There is no point for you to put this 08 feeder gam, but you still don't catch such fish. Where is this feeder gum? Needed in exactly this rigidity 06. The dorg is through the roof. Everything is great. Everything works. It really does cushion. Does not allow the hook to straighten. You understand if you want. Fish with thin wires. Depreciation is necessary. Plus I think it will be visible in the video that the fishing out is happening. Besides the fact that from great depth, I have a stick of 4 and 2 in height. I just lift it up and periodically get above the roof. The feeder is 80 grams, so it is quite heavy. That is, amplitude jerks, as you understand, that's pretty decent. One more nuance, this is because there is a lot of grass on the coastline, and I'm fine with this hook through this grass. I'm picking at the fish. Yes, it's not just gliding there. I carefully pulled it through. It got caught there. I pulled it. He climbed out calmly. That is, everything seems to be fine with the hook. Absolutely works. So try to fish with more delicate gear. Try to make the editing more delicate too. And you will definitely succeed, and you won't have any hook bending. Well, as for the forms that I worked on today, again, as many say, the distance is small. That I won't throw there 50 meters with a 3 and 6 stick. Yes, throw it to your health. I don't think there are any questions. You can throw over 70 and 80. But I don't understand what the point of puffing up and laughing so hard is. Here the fishing conditions are immediately simple. Initially they demanded to catch with exactly this form, in height 4-2. Without bothering too much, not always getting up, I calmly licked over this 5-meter wall. There is not a single fish left in this wall. Form 4 and 2. Yes, it has weight, no questions. And the reel is also quite tractional, 80 grams. She just didn't have any trouble with the fish. It's not stressful at all, because she carries 120, 150, and only then does one begin to feel any weight at all. So you want to fish comfortably. Choose correctly, no need for gear there. Use your own sticks 3 and 6, and some miracles to pop out. What is she throwing there? 170, 180, lying down holds the feeders perfectly, and so on. This stick is not designed for this. Genus builders are people who create all the forms. They're not fools either, and you understand in the feeder. The improvement exists. A series of certain steps, as it were, when it's time to switch. Well, and you yourself as a fisherman, experienced, inexperienced, should understand what conditions dictate the choice of form. Not your personal wishes, just like the disciples some come. They say, I love this hook, I like him, I'll catch it. Well then live with this hook. Love him, kiss him, adore him. But unfortunately, the fish don't like it. That's why you need to pick it up, which the fish needs, and to stick to the conditions. Guys, to be honest, well, fishing is awesome. I'm sitting here enjoying myself because I understand that autumn is just around the corner. Cold rains will begin. I'm already in microfleece. No thin blouses, which inside I was also happy today. I thought about sunbathing once again. No, I've had enough of microfleece. This sweater is comfortable and convenient. I'm sitting here catching the warm days. That's why I'm in no hurry to go anywhere, but I understand that there is just some amount of fish there. I think that it will be necessary to finish after all, or at least show you the fish and let it go. I think another 20 minutes, 30, so cool, and at least the fish should be released, because the quantity is also some. I don't know, it just happens that way. What in 15 minutes and there are 15 fish? Approximately this amount. so as not to injure either the cage or the fish. I think 20 minutes. We'll see what's going on there. This is another one. Lentil. I've already lost count. Merciless spanking. Such easy fishing in a completely new location. The location is of course cool, but unfortunately there is no way to get here. Not very simple. So with the first rains, I think it will be here already. Not to get there. Well, I caught a lot of fish. The analysis was essentially as simple as possible. Well, I don't know if you were interested in this kind of fishing, or not useful or not. Nevertheless, I had a great time. Almost like hunting and fishing mixed together. While looking for locations, for now the measurements, for now all these nuances. I managed to catch fish for literally 4 hours, but I caught some fish just a crazy amount. Let's watch. What's in the garden? Because I see they're already floating on top. But there's just a crowd of guys there. I just imagine this amount. What's still biting there? You can just sit and do it. This is some kind of fish processing plant. Well, of course we are not like that. We will definitely release all the fish. Let's see. Well, friends, this is the result. Just a merciless spanking. Bream on the Moscow River. This is how autumn begins. Live with it however you want. So don't sit at home. Be sure to go fishing. Catch fish, most importantly release it, if you catch in such quantities. Keep to the catch limit. Well, and those who want, go on similar fishing trips. Write to me in private messages. We will decide something. Well, I want to remind you again, what is necessary? Subscribe to the channel. On the group on my personal page, put a bell, so as not to miss all video tricks, nuanced story, posts and so on. Well, and with you was Sergey Puzanov, and this means, as always, productive fishing. Bye everyone.